Vicki.
And I'm Chad.
And we're with Niche Realty Group.
And today we're going to talk about what's going on in the market, interest rates, and
Inventory,
home sales,
all the good stuff. So stay tuned. Okay, guys. What's going on?
Interest rates are up. If you didn't know,
It's kind of wild out there right now.
the news wants to sell advertisements, so they want eyeballs, they want all that kind of stuff, so they make it sound, I think, a little worse than it really is.
Yeah.
All they're talking about is inventory is low. Mortgages have...
Which is true. Inventory is low.
Well, not more, inventory is low. Inventory or homes that are coming on, there's more homes on the market now. There's less start to new builds. There's less mortgages being started, all that kind of stuff. Well, yes, that's true.
It's been true for a while.
But just the way they're spinning it makes it sound like we're having a crash. The bubble's popping. Oh my gosh. Doom and gloom.
You just said a key
horrible.
word there because I keep getting asked this question, when is the bubble going to burst, or do we think the bubble's going to burst? We've been saying this is not a bubble. We are not in a bubble. That's not what's happening here. It is supply and demand combined with inflation. Those are your three main problems right now.
Right. So inflation they're trying to, as everybody knows, is trying to get that to stop being so crazy. So they're raising interest rates, which then bumps some people out of the home buying ability because they were right on the verge at 2.5%. I mean, everybody could have bought a house.
Right, exactly.
Right? But now that it's a little higher, more of your money goes towards the interest instead of the principal and all the other good stuff that goes along with it, insurance and whatnot. So your house payment that was on a $300,000 home was $3,000 is now going to be $35,000, $36,000, wherever. And those are just made up numbers. Don't
check the math.
Right? So if you can't afford $3,600, now you have to lower your home buying price,
right?
Which then maybe there's not any in that you like or things like that, right?
Which complicates this because we are still in a shortage of homes, right?
Yes.
We've been talking about this for 2 years now. The pandemic scared sellers off. They stopped putting their houses on the market and inventory just plummeted. And you are starting to see an uptick, but it's going to take a while to get that balanced out.
Right. A balanced market is 6 months, and we were at less than a month. So that is a lot of homes that have to hit the market to be on the buyer's side of a market, right?
Right.
So instead of seeing 10 to 20% increase in home prices, what's happening now is we're going back to a balanced market on normal raising of the 3 to 5% year over year in the housing market, right? That is what your equity is built. Normally, we were just jumped because of
supply and demand.
Right, and pandemic and everything else. So now, all of a sudden, they raise interest rates and we were like, full stop. And we went back to what we were prior to the pandemic.
Right.
But they don't talk about that side on the news. They're just like, oh my gosh, everything's crashing.
Well, and if you go back to 2008 when the bubble did burst, the problem was they were giving home loans to anybody that could fog a mirror. I mean, it didn't matter. You got a home loan, right?
And I'm not even sure you had to fog the mirror.
Sure, you could. Probably could be dead and still get one. That's not the case. It is not easy to get a home loan now.
No, and that was what happened. People were refining because the markets were great, and then all of a sudden nobody had equity. So when it did crash and people are like, oh, they're not alive really, and they have a house and they're not paying their mortgage and all this
that's
kind of
weird.
stuff, right? Everything tanked.
Right.
But nobody had equity to sell their house, right? So they couldn't refi again, even though the interest rates were higher. and take some money out, or like just refi for another 30 year because they had equity, which you can do now because everybody has so much equity.
Literally, everybody. I mean, and that is one of the good things that has come out of it is if you've sold your house since the pandemic, you know. Not only does it not take long to sell it, but you make a significant amount of money.
And the last 2 years was a freak occurrence, I think, right? Homes were selling.
We were stuck at home for 8 months. Yeah,
right?
Everything was a freak occurrence.
But homes were selling in hours, it seemed like, and
Sight
not
unseen.
days. And you were just making offers on 5-6 homes at a time, and you just threw whatever you could at the wall to win the house. Now we're gonna go back to what a normal-ish market is, where maybe it's on the market for a few weeks instead of a few hours. Maybe you don't get 15, 20, 50 offers, you get 2 or 3.
Right.
There's gonna be a rude awakening to sellers who think, oh, but this is how it's always
I can
been.
get what I want. Yeah.
And you have to price differently now. You have to, there's a lot of old school, I say old school because it was only for 2 years, right? Real estate tricks and work that you have to do to get homes sold
But my advice to sellers is still put your house on the market. You're still going to make great money on it. It's still going to sell. We still have buyer demand and we can't keep up with the supply demand. So you should still put your house on the market. And if you're a buyer right now, I know some people are scared to buy because of the interest rates, but here's the thing. It's a cycle. It's not going to stay that way forever. So you should still get into the house that you want and know that when it corrects itself again, you fix that. You change that.
But as prices are not going down. Prices are only going up. So interest rates are going up, prices are going up, but you can refi to a lower interest rate in the next year, 2 years, 3 years when they do come down, because they're not going to stay this high forever.
Right.
But you can't get the house at today's prices. In 3 years, this $300,000 home is not going to be $300. It's not going to be $250. It's going to be $350. It could be closer to $400. Who knows where they're going to be in the next 3 years? But you're going to have that 3 to 5% interest or increase in pricing constantly,
regardless. Right.
And another thing, everybody talks recession is the hot word of the moment, right? In the last, I think they said 5 recessions, only 2 have had price drops in the housing market. One had 1.5% drop in housing prices, and the other one had like 18%, but that was the big bubble pop, big crash, 7, 8, 9.
Right.
So that one is an outlier. And
we've already explained why that happened, right? And we're not in that situation anywhere near that position.
No. And in the other 3, they went up by like 3 to 6%, even in the recession. So if you're thinking, let's hold off on buying, let's hold off on selling, all this kind of stuff, don't. It's not worth it in the long run. And we're not just saying that because we're in real estate and this is our job and we want to make a living too.
Right.
But we're very honestly saying if you wait, the feds are going to raise the interest rates in the next 6 to 8 weeks whenever they meet again. I think the end of July, right? So they're already talking about raising it again.
So you got to look at the big picture. Because when you buy a house, it's not just one and done. You have that house for a long time. So you have to look at the big picture of the financial investment, despite immediate what the news is telling you. Everybody be scared and run, and
exactly,
the world is ending.
And even today, stuff that I've read says that real estate is the number 1 investment, the safest investment, the best investment. Even today, as we went through the pandemic and home prices went crazy overnight, people are still saying now is the time, or real estate is the investment.
Well, it's just less volatile. The stock market, everybody has.
Stock market was 2 and gold was the 3rd one. And the stock market has
People are losing lots.
It's just on the downward slide. Home prices aren't doing that.
But I feel like anybody that has bought and sold a home since the pandemic fully understands the fact that it's a major investment that you're going to see a significant return on.
For sure. No matter what time you ring, unless you sold right after 7 and 8, then you're like, maybe this isn't the best. However,
that probably wasn't the best thing for you to do, but
purchasing then was
yeah,
spot on. If you had the money. So don't freak out. Don't let the news make you hibernate and never think of real estate and never think of investing or buying or doing anything because it's doom and gloom.
That's their job.
That's their job, right? Exactly. They want the eyeballs,
Ratings.
they want the ratings, they want people to watch, so they have to spin it a certain way.
So if you guys have questions about selling or buying, we're here for you.
Yes, we are, and we love talking about it, obviously. And there's lots of good stuff about the market still. So
Yes.
Don't freak out. And the best part is there are more homes. So if you're looking to buy, there's still going to be some competition.
But it's not like it was.
Not 15 or 20, 50 offers that are happening. So,
So feel free to give us a call, hit the subscribe button,
yes,
email us, Twitter,
call us,
Insta.
Facebook, whatever.
just call us.
Add a comment on here. We'll answer it. So,
All right, till next time.
see you guys later. Have a
Bye.
good day.